Don't send me when I die to some big ghetto in the sky where rats eat cats of the leopard type on Sunday brunch. Is grits and tripe. I've known those rats. I've seen them kill, and grits I've had would make a hill or maybe a mountain. So what I need from you on Sunday is a different creed. Preacher, please don't promise me streets of gold and milk for free. I've stopped all milk at 4 years old. And once I'm dead, I won't be gold. I call a place pure paradise, where families are loyal, strangers are nice, where the music is jazz and the season is fall. Promise me that, or nothing at all. Maya Angelou, whom I consider to be one of the prophets of our age, speaks these words as she is working through some of her own conversations about heaven and the promises that are made on Sunday mornings, and all of the good and wonder that people are going to get in this wonderful mansion, or as she refers to it, ghetto in the sky. And she's tired. Tired of hearing about the streets of gold and the rivers flowing with milk and the sweet honey. She's saying, I need something different. Give me something I can hold on to now. She's asking for a vision, a promise, amidst the struggles that she has experienced. Now, as we come to today, I am mindful that here at Calvary I have sat down with our Cocoa Club and many people individually, and we have had a lot of conversations over the last 2 weeks about heaven. What is heaven? What does it look like? Who is there? We've had conversations about clouds in the air, people, love, energy, light. We've talked about deep connection. We've talked about fourth and fifth and infinite dimensions. There has been lots of conversation about heaven. And today we come to this text, this gospel text, and we experience Jesus being plopped into the midst of a conversation in his time, in his day and age. Now, reading the context of the Gospels, oftentimes we just lump Pharisees and scribes and Sadducees all together in one place. But the reality is, Jesus is entering into a lot of debate, a lot of confusion, and a lot of arguments back and forth. For you see, the Sadducees were, in some ways, very literalistic. And they believed that the Word of God that you adhered to was the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. After that, well, there were things to inform you. But for them, there is nothing in the first 5 books of the Bible that talks about heaven. Nothing. But there's a whole lot that talks about raising up children and a name that lives on. And in fact, there becomes this tradition of what is called Levirate marriage. That if a woman marries a man and dies childless, then the woman, after the man has died, would marry the brother, the next in line. And so on down the line until there is a child to propagate the name, as well as ideally care for this woman and the family into her old age. And so these Sadducees are coming, adhering strictly to the 5 books of Moses, the Pentateuch. And they're probing Jesus, asking this question, playing one thing that is lodged in the Scriptures, as they see it, the idea of Levirate marriage, over and against this conversation around resurrection and heaven, that these crazy folks called the Pharisees are saying, well, there is. There is this resurrection. There is something after this, and we know this. And they're using the prophets and other understandings to embolden themselves in this argument. So the Sadducees, determined to probe and prod Jesus a little bit, lodge him right in the middle. They want to know, where is he at? Is he going to fall on their side? Or is he going to fall on the Pharisees' side? And if so, once he's chosen a side, of course the other one can come after him with full force. So Jesus, receiving this question, begins to think about it. And at first it seems like he's walking a middle ground. You see, the way that Jesus begins to talk is that as we think about the resurrection, the marriage of this woman, or the marriages, really aren't going to be significant in heaven. That they are going to look very different, that our being here on earth is going to be extremely different from what will be after our lives here on the earth. There is an air of mystery and wonder about it. And Jesus taps into that. In his mind, I'm sure that Jesus is going through the same questions in his day and age to say, so is heaven really about arguing forever and ever who is in charge of the remote control? Or who needs to clean the bathroom the next day? Or is heaven more an understanding about a relationship and relationships that transcend, that allow us to live in the fullness of God and the fullness of one another? So he begins there and he slowly tears away from the Levirate marriage to say that is something that is significant here and now. In heaven, it's not going to be like that. Now, the way that he keeps the Sadducees connected is he very quickly goes into the story of Moses at the burning bush. How can they possibly go against Moses? Because he is the founder and the primary source of their faith. And so what he does is he says, think of Moses at the burning bush. There in that place, what he does is lifts up the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob. And do you not understand that in that moment, they are not dead? They are not dead to us, and they are not dead to God. They are being lifted up as examples of faith, as those who now dwell in the fullness, in the wonder and mystery of God.